She loved her children, all of them, very, very much.
Welcome back, folks. You just heard from Susan Clancy. That's the former mother-in-law of Lindsay Clancy, also known as the woman on trial for killing her 3 children in January 2023. This is another case gripping the nation. The trial now in its 4th week. There's also a great deal of speculation about why she murdered her kids and then tried to kill herself. But before we go into conspiracy theories, you know me, I like some facts first. The prosecution argues the murders were deliberate and planned. They rested their case on Monday of this week. Now the defense is turned to make their case. As you just saw, Lindsay's former mother-in-law, Susan, testified just yesterday. She said that Lindsay had been begging for help for months leading up to the murders. She said that Lindsay was severely struggling. She sought medical attention. She worried about her dependency on several mind-altering medications. Remember, we filled you in. They had her on like, I don't know, what was the number, 13 or more different medications? It was insane. Susan was also asked about steps Lindsay took to try and get better before she snapped. She was begging for help. Nobody would help her. All they wanted to do was fill her full of drugs. Sound familiar? That's a problem we have today, folks. The clinical and forensic psychologist who treated jurors heard from them in testimony about the psychologist who evaluated her. By the way, she got evaluated dozens and dozens of times. Now, the name of the doc, Paul Ziesel, never treated her, said that she reported hearing a male voice, though, that commanded her to kill her kids and then kill herself. That testimony is a core part of the defense's claim that Clancy cannot be held criminally responsible due to postpartum psychosis. A lot of folks will just say temporarily insane, right? But this is a very rare condition, but it's a very real condition, folks, and it's not talked about enough. Joining me now with more insight into this case, she's a board-certified forensic psychiatrist and an expert witness in trials like this, Dr. Carole Lieberman, back on the program. Doc, let me get the conspiracy theory out of the way quick, because I feel like with Congress gone for the month, a lot of media has been focused more on this trial now instead of talking politics lately. And so, of course, then the people on social media come out of the woodworks and have all kinds of theories about what went down. You've been tracking the case. Is there any doubt in your mind with the evidence that's already been presented and even the way the defense is defending her? I don't think anybody has said she didn't do it. It's just, why did she do it? Was she temporarily insane? Did she have this postpartum psychosis when she did it? Your expert opinion.
Sure. Well, first of all, I absolutely think she had postpartum depression, postpartum psychosis, as well as depression. And although I don't think that the husband killed the kids and blamed it on her, I do think that there's a lot more there to the husband's story. I think we're going to be finding out more things about him that are rather shady. For one thing, what we know already, he didn't answer her cries. He didn't get her help. He didn't take her into the hospital enough. Eventually he took her at on one occasion, but he should have made sure that they kept her in the hospital. And he was really blind to how deep, how much pain she was in. And to speak to that, an interesting thought psychologically is, so she heard this male voice, we know, telling her to kill the kids and to kill herself because then the kids wouldn't be able to survive, in a sense, have a good life without her. But you have to wonder psychologically and unconsciously and all that, could the male voice, and I'm not saying literally, but could the male voice have been her husband's in her mind? Like, could she have felt that he wanted her to get rid of her and the kids, and she was hearing that? But there is no question that she was hearing these voices. And interestingly, also, there has been testimony now that she thought that people, this is sort of related, that she thought that other people were hearing her thoughts. Now that, she wouldn't know this, but that is a definite sign of psychosis, when you think other people are hearing your inner thoughts. So, I really don't think there's a question. Now, to go back to the mother-in-law.
Yes.
One of the other ways that the prosecution has been horrible, really stooping to below what prosecutors usually do. So they asked the grandmother, the mother-in-law, first she asked her about, you're a Catholic, right? And you go to church. And she said, well, isn't murder, the prosecutor said, isn't murder a mortal sin? And of course, the defense objected and the judge agreed, with the objection. But I mean, that was really stooping low to try to get the grandmother to say how horrible it was because it's a mortal sin. So that's one example. And today, the latest thing is that the jurors have been dismissed today because there was a witness that was supposed to testify, and the witness got dismissed. The judge dismissed her. It was a therapist who has a spot on TikTok, and she apparently was talking on TikTok about she had worked at McLean, and that was where Lindsay had been in one of her hospitalizations. And this woman, this TikTok woman, had worked there for a long time. And she wanted to say, or she said on TikTok, and then the defense attorney saw her, was directed to her, and had her come in, that McLean is really bad, that the level of care at McLean is really bad, which we kind of saw by the psychiatrist who testified, and she really she missed all the signs and she didn't keep her there.
Well, I thought it was very telling too, Carole, that the one place she tried to go to, they wouldn't take her because of the meds. And I just want to remind folks, throw the headline up real quick, Chris, that she was on 13 different medications. There's a list of some of the heavy ones, kids. I mean, look at what the hell they had her on. Klonopin, Zoloft, Valium. Okay, 13. And by the way, one more headline, and then Carole, I'm out of time. I'll give you a few seconds to chime in here.
Sure.
The antidepressant dose was increased the day before the murders. Yes. I'm telling you, I'm a spiritual guy. Between the devil sitting on her shoulder, talking in her ear, and these drugs and the postpartum, to me, that's what led, unfortunately, to the death of these 3 little babies. I got 10 seconds left, Doc.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you. And hopefully this will be a message to all those psychiatrists out there who have become pill pushers instead of doing therapy as part of treatment.
That's a great way to end. Thank you. Stop pushing the drugs. Talk to people. Find out what's wrong with them. By the way, if you're family members, listen to them. Take them to church. Talk to your pastor or priest as well. Don't shun them away. And definitely don't pump them full of drugs all the time. Dr. Carole Lieberman, thank you. Appreciate you.